Hello everyone, this is a how to use tutorial for the retirement planner app. This is the main page. It doesn't look like much, just three sheets which one will have to use one by one. So let's start with step one. This is not a simple app where you can just enter one or two inputs and get an answer. This is a detailed retirement calculator, so you need to enter many inputs to get the final answer. So I suggest you have some time with you when you start working with this app. Now, the total average monthly expense is the most crucial input in any retirement calculator. I suggest that you look at your annual expenses and remove any expense that will not persist in retirement. For example, your school fees for your children are not going to be there. Your EMIs are not going to be around. You probably your term insurance premium is not going to be around, or any other LIC policy premium is not going to be around. Your health insurance premium would be there, would still continue. Your car insurance premium would still continue, and so on. Any AMC expenses that you have for any equipment, that will still probably be there, and so on. So you only remove those expenses which you are certain will not persist when you begin your retired life. So all other expenses, let it be there. So take your annual expenses, total annual expenses, including your one-time expense as well as monthly expense. Take that, divide it by 12 and put it in there. Approximately, it doesn't need to be exact. So I put in 40,000. Inflation before retirement, I suggest work with 8%, maybe 9%, 10% if you can pull it off, but 8% is good enough. Anything lower than that is not safe because it doesn't represent reality. So that's the key point. The inputs have to be reasonable. If they're not reasonable, you will get very rosy answers, but that's not a good idea. It's better always to err on the side of caution, and that's what I would do. So current age, well, that's mine, 41. Age you wish to retire, well, I'll put 60 there. I would like to retire much earlier than that, but I'll put 60 there. Now, number of years you expect to live, 90 seems all right. You can put 100 there just to be on the safe side, but 90 is all right. So you have 19 years to retirement. So from age 41 to 60, that's 19 years away. Retirement is 19 years away. Whatever is 40,000 today, because of inflation, will become 1,72,000 in terms of monthly expenses. So that will be your initial income. The first year's income, the monthly income should be 1,72,000. That's how the retirement calculator will work. Of course, this income will be post-tax. That's crucial. Now, so from age 60 to age 90, you are planning for a 30 years retired life. Inflation during retirement, I suggest use 8%. Some people claim that India will become a developed country and inflation will reduce and so on. Please do not believe that. That's just a pipe dream. Inflation in our country is going to be pretty high for a long time. So I suggest that you use 8%, at least 8%. Post-tax average return expected from the retirement corpus. This is also a very key number. When it's far away, it's very difficult to guess what it is. I suggest that you use 8%. This is the post-tax return from the entire retirement portfolio that you expect. Set it equal to the inflation during retirement. Technically speaking, that's like zero real return, but it's better. Some people assume 10% as a portfolio return. I think that's very dangerous. I think it's better to be cautious, and 8% is the minimum I would suggest. Personally, I would like to use 6% or 7% just to be on the very safe side, but then I'll have to invest more. But I'll leave it to you. 8% is what I suggest. I have posts where this number can be optimized better, but these links don't work in the app for some reason. I'm not able to understand that. So you can read those posts in my blog later. So the total corpus required with these inputs is you're whooping 6 lakhs 21 excuse me, 6 crores 21 lakhs 46,000 rupees, and that's appears very huge. But let's see how we can reduce it. That's what we're going to do in sheet 2. So let's proceed to sheet 2 now. Back here, sheet 2. Now, what is the return that you would expect from equity? I expect 12% post-tax return from equity. Personally, I prefer 10%, but 12% is, I think, reasonable. We should be able to make that from our equity portfolio. Now, what is the return expected from current taxable debt holdings? Debt refers to fixed income instruments. Taxable debt holding means fixed deposits, debt mutual funds, etc. So, from taxable debt, I would expect not more than 6% post-tax. What is the return expected from tax-free debt? Tax-free debt is EPF, PPF, LIC policies, the ones which give you some money, not non-term insurance ones. Those are all tax-free. You can put that as 8%, but down the line it may decrease. Well, the key point here is that this retirement calculator, well, any retirement calculator should be used once a year. When you review your portfolio once a year, I suggest you use the calculator again. So these numbers can be revised. These are not set in stone. So each year you will revise these numbers as per current conditions. If you think that equity will not, if you have only 7-8 years from to retirement, and if you think equity will not give you that much return, you can reduce it and so on. So you will have to play it by the year and take it year upon year. So these are the present value of investments that you have earmarked for retirement. Do not put in any corpus that you have in mind for your other financial goals like child's education, marriage, etc. Just for your retirement. So the current value of equity investments, just for the sake of illustration, I've put 1 lakh. Taxable debt is 1 lakh. Current tax-free debt is also 1 lakh. Lump sum benefits that one would get upon retirement, leave encashment, gratuity, and so on. It's very difficult to guess when you're far away from retirement. Just put some token number, 5 lakhs. When you get closer to retirement, you will know more clearly what number you're likely to get. So, what is the mandatory EPF or NPS contribution? Total contribution, yours plus employers, that will go to EPF. In EPF, this calculator will take into account only the employer contribution that goes to EPF. So it will take that math into account. So I've just put 10,000 rupees. Now, what rate at which this EPF contribution will increase each year? Because your salaries will increase, so the EPF will also increase. Let's say 5%. Make it 3% if you're not sure it will go 5%. Because if you get DAs and so on, it will be 5%. But if you're in corporate, it will be tough to estimate. So use a pretty reasonable number that you think. Because if you have recessions and so on, this may change and so on. Now, what is the expected rate of return for EPF or NPS? Well, set that as 8%. I think that's all right. Now, if you take these current holdings and project them to future holdings at the time you retire, the retirement corpus will reduce, and it is now reduced to 5 crores 23 lakhs 5 crores 23 lakhs 23,000, etc. So it's about 5.2 crores. So it's reduced by about 1 crore. So your present net worth will also grow in value from now to retirement. So that's taken care of. So your net worth, the net corpus required is only about 5.2 crores. Well, I say only, but that's relative. Now, sheet 3 is the last one. How much would you allocate to equity for investments? How much would you allocate to tax-free debt and taxable debt? That's what the first 3 entries are about. In this app, I do not have the option to change these allocations now itself. That is, my age is now 40. what would be my allocation at age 50 and so on. I don't have the provision to change this right away, but if you use it once a year, you can uh, change these allocation that you have in mind for the next year and so on. So it's for, or at least for the future or 10 years. And so suppose you use this next year or next 5 years later, what would be the allocation at that point? You can change it suitably, so it will take into account the new investment amount based on these allocations. I have another sheet which will take into account future asset allocation strategies. You can look at that. I have a link to it. So now, how much would your monthly investment increase? Your salary will increase, so I think you should also invest more and more for retirement with in the coming years. So put some number that you're comfortable. 10% is a bit on the higher side. I have been trying to push myself to invest 10% more each year for the last 8 years, and I can tell you from experience that it will be tough. It will be extremely tough, even if your salary increases more than 10%. Now, considering these equity and taxable debt and tax-free debt allocations, considering the return that you expect from each of those asset classes, the net rate of return from for your portfolio, which is an approximate value, is about 10.2%. This is the net portfolio return. And with that net portfolio return, the monthly investment required is 36,000 rupees, 36,800 rupees, which seems very high. Well, maybe not everybody can pull that off, but it depends. So out of this 36,800, 22,000 goes to equity, about 3,600 goes to taxable debt, and the rest goes to tax-free debt. So that's the aim of this calculator. Well, it will look scary. I know people who have not slept for many nights after they have used my retirement calculators. Well, they are meant to scare. I will be very clear about that. Retirement calculators are meant to shock you into action. It is not meant to shock you into paralysis. If you cannot manage the amount that the calculator says, uh, you should please invest what you can. Down the line, things will get better. Please invest what you can and ensure that you have a reasonably aggressive portfolio. Let's say at least 60 to 70% equity if your retirement is about 15 years away or so or more. So and there's also this submit button. You can, if you submit that, it will go to spreadsheet converter website. I'm not sure if this works in the app, but it works here. I have a, this is a web page. I'm not sure if it works in the app. I've not tried that. Please check it out. You can see all the entries listed. You can save it as a PDF file, print it, and so on. So give that a go if you're interested. So that's how this Freefincal retirement planner app works. If you have any questions, please contact me in my blog. Bye bye.